I think there's no other way to describe it, but as something that is absolutely historic. Now, of course, a lot of people in crypto expected Bitcoin to reach 100K, but to actually see it happen is absolutely amazing for anybody involved. But I think it should also be something to look at for people in traditional finance, that this asset has gone from absolutely zero with no backing, with no CEO, a totally decentralized network, and is now worth, 100,000 US dollar per token. So it's absolutely massive.
Yeah, I'm alright, thanks. I'm alright. Looks like you had a late one last night.
So right now, Bitcoin is actually still going higher. So we've crossed 100K, and the new all-time high is something just above 104,000 US dollar. I think that's just on the back of a lot of short sellers being forced to liquidate, right? And that happens quite a lot in crypto, where you have leveraged traders that are caught on the wrong side of their trade and forced to essentially follow the market trend. And so in this case, it is up. Now, whether that is sustained really remains to be seen. It's very interesting, though, that the event happened during Asia session. And so it'll be very interesting to look at the US reacting to the news, and one could expect maybe prices to go even higher with the Americans buying more and even more inflows into the ETFs. Although, of course, as markets move, it's never a straight line and there will be retracements along the way.
So that makes sense. I got caught a couple of weeks ago. One of the customers got caught.
Can you highlight
The Trump victory, so essentially a president that seems to be pro-crypto and is likely to enact pro-crypto policies once he's in the office, but also make appointments at certain regulatory bodies that will be more favorable to crypto, as opposed to the previous administration, which had a certain anti-crypto feel to it. One of the most important factors that pushed Bitcoin prices higher. And that's the appointment by Trump of Paul Atkins as the head of the SEC. And that's actually the thing that was announced yesterday, and that has been so bullish for crypto prices because, again, as I mentioned, the regulatory appointments are making Bitcoin or let's say crypto investors so bullish because you have an administration that's more positive rather than negative.
Yeah, no, it read nicely though. Yeah, it's a good job.
The other factor is beyond the political and administrative side of things. There's also corporates. So American companies that are purchasing Bitcoin. That is MicroStrategy as maybe the most popular example, but also Marathon, a miner based in the US, and then a proposal recently for Microsoft to also acquire Bitcoin and add them to their treasury assets. And then, of course, you can imagine a lot of other factors that would come into play outside of the US, but just on a macro level, where you have a lot of countries, lots of exchanges, lots of institutional participants that will want to follow suit, will follow the example of the US. And so that's even more capital pouring into the crypto space. So far, mostly Bitcoin, but also Ethereum, and then maybe later down the road, further down the risk curve, other altcoins. I think if you look at logarithmic curves on the Bitcoin price, which isn't telling you much at the end of the day because it's an asset that's only been really tradable and liquid for a decade plus, you could expect Bitcoin to go all the way to 180K and with some more extreme model, all the way to 240K. Now, whether that will happen, nobody knows. Will it be sustainable? Will it stay there or will it pull back in a violent fashion afterwards? Nobody knows either. But it's really about your risk appetite and your willingness to hold during downturns that should dictate whether you're willing to hold for a higher level. I definitely am, but that's for everyone, of course, to judge.